All right, the ad break should be over. If it's not over, well, you won't be able to hear my voice telling you that it's over, because I watched the countdown timer go along. We're going to turn this off. So, get ready here. We're talking about this building. This is the building that has a morgue in the basement.
Toto, see no ad.
Yeah, Toto, you're a subscriber. You're just sitting there waiting patiently for this. So I'm going to move something here so that I'm not looking up. That's a little better. So in this particular building, we have a basement. This is the floor plan of the basement. This is the original floor plan of the basement. And, wow, I need water. Good grief, I should have had some water when I went out. So on this floor plan, what you can see is what looks like a very large storage area. There's a stairs here, and this particular room in the top left corner of the floor plan is the room we were sitting in. This was used as a makeshift morgue. It's marked as a storeroom. Must hydrate. And that was the room we were sitting in. This particular storeroom for the winter, during the winter, was used to store bodies. This is the basement level of this building. And I'm going to go through a couple of images here. This little chute right here goes into the basement building. The one you see on the right. This cage you see is actually a portable jail cell. Yeah, they used to look like that. That's exactly how you can see there's actually 2 bunks in them. They used to sit in the courthouse, and they put this one out here. You see a lot of junk along here. This is the jail. And by the way, yesterday I talked about this building having a foundation that was worth about $5 million. That rock you see is the foundation, and that was slag from the gold mines, and they used that to make the foundation of this building. Literally if you go inside and you shine a flashlight at these rocks, they shimmer. They have gold in them. I've done it. And there are people like wanting to rip the rocks out of the walls because there's so much gold in this building. So this little chute goes into that building. It's kind of bricked up now, but we did make them close it and lock it because people keep opening it thinking there's going to be something behind it, and there isn't. So, and let's see. And I think one more picture here. No, not yet. 4 and 5 we're going to save. So we're going to take off this picture. Oops. This picture. And then, oh, sorry about the sun, guys. That picture. Now, the only way I could get this to play was in QuickTime. So now I have to shut off.
Flashbang.
Yeah, flashbang. I have to shut off that, and I have to shut off text-to-speech. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be really mean and not totally disorganized. We're going to go to emote-only chat so that you people can't talk. Papa Race, don't type anything in chat because I think you still can. So here we go, guys. Get ready. This is about 12 minutes long. It's me telling some ghost stories while sitting in that room. And I'm talking about the ghosts that are in that room. It starts off a little slow, but it gets going. All right. Oh, okay. 1 second. There won't be a whole lot you can see in the video unless you turn lights around on you because it was completely dark in the room. Yes, you tell ghost stories by sitting in the dark, of course.
Okay. All right. I'm a big believer in conspiracy theories and everything else, and I like a good ghost story like anybody else under the sun. So a long time ago, my brother brought me down here, and he says, you know, I want you to come hunt ghosts with me since you like debunking things. And that's what I like to do. I like to debunk things. I don't believe anything unless I actually go there. Long story short, I did a little thing on FEMA camps and decided to prove that they were totally wrong. I did. So my brother, I hand him my card and I say, look, I'm a little conspiracy theorist, and I like to hunt ghosts, and I like to go look.
Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Hang on, I can get it back. Good, that was mean. I didn't mean to do that. I'll put it right back where it was. I accidentally closed it. I gotta reopen QuickTime. There it goes.
Okay. Done. Um, so a long time ago, my brother brought me down here, and he says, you know, I want you to come hunt ghosts with me since you like debunking things. And that's what I like to do. I like to debunk things. I don't believe anything unless I actually go there. Long story short, I did a little thing on FEMA camps and decided to prove that they were totally wrong. I did. So my brother, I handed my card and I say, look, I'm a little conspiracy theorist, and I like to hunt ghosts, and I like to go look for UFOs, and I like to prove all that stuff is wrong. So I come from a background of being a skeptic. Now, I don't disbelieve that people can be psychic or things like that. I've seen that in action. I'm capable of doing it myself. It's not impossible. So my brother brings me here, and the first day I was upstairs, and I got a bunch of EVPs that I later found on a videotape, and then I come down here, and I'm walking around. And like I said, I believe in being psychic. I believe that you can feel things, you can pick up names, you can hear things. And I kept walking around going down here, what is E? Who is E? Who is this female that keeps talking to me? And I felt very uneasy in here, and they didn't tell me anything about this room or anything about anything. And I didn't say anything to anybody because I kept getting the name Emily. Like, who is Emily? And then I went home, and for 6 weeks I had nightmares about a blonde girl. About 4'6", kept following me around, kept saying things to me. One day I'm looking up and I'm driving home, and I drive home in the middle of the night, and I look through my rearview mirror, and there's a face. And it's a girl's face, and it's in my rearview mirror, and it's ghastly white, and I just about hit my brakes on I-25 and almost went off the side of the road. That's how much it scared me. And I went, holy crap, yeah, hi, Emmy.
Hi, Emily.
Flash.
Yay!
Flash. Guess who was in my back seat?
It was Emily.
She followed me home for 6 weeks. So, you like my story?
She does.
She says, I'm here. Hi.
She loves you.
Did she come back here? Have you felt her here?
She was in here. She's in here. But she came out with me. She followed me.
Yeah,
you
that's
brought her
right.
back.
And over the course of time, Emily has taught me things, showed me things, followed me home, and on occasion I've gotten mad at her and sent her back. It's been an interesting conversation with her because she shows up in my dreams and she says things. And about a year ago, she said, I'm looking for a red book. You have it. And I went, what red book? And I went everywhere. I ended up in a Christian bookstore looking for a red journal type book because that's what I thought it was. And she said, nope, that's not it. I couldn't find the right thing. So I ended up going back home, and I'm wandering through my closet, and the next thing I know, I'm digging out somebody who had left some stuff in my house. And it was a Bible. That one. The one that's down here.
Here.
Yep.
And she said, bring me the Bible. That red book. And I brought it here. And now that I've brought it here, more and more things have been happening down here. I mean, and just everybody is like, yeah, bring the Bible, leave the Bible here. And it's stayed here. There's been a couple times where it's left, or it's moved, or it's been moved out of the room. Because Emmy's not the only one in here. My first picture of this
What was
room.
that?
You heard growling?
No, what was that?
Lotion.
Okay.
Rub some lotion on its skin.
It is pretty dry here in Colorado.
My first picture in this room is right up here where my hand is. I took a picture, and my friend Rick was standing back here. I was on the other end with my other camera, not this one, and I got a picture of a face. I can probably show. I have it somewhere. I'll show it to you. Remind me before you leave. This face staring down at Rick. Now it could be matrixing. It could be a lot of things. But all I know is there's a demon face. And anybody out there? Mike, are you outside? No.
The light went off, huh?
You get really observant, yes. Is there anybody? Is there anybody out there? Was that Mike?
He was out there.
Okay.
Someone just went out to check.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't know how far Mike is away.
I keep seeing light anomalies.
Yeah, is he in the other room?
Yeah.
Okay.
In here with an infrared?
Yes.
Okay. So, and where was I? Oh, Emmy following him, visions coming back.
Face.
Snap pictures.
Face. Face in the corner.
Say flash.
Okay, that freaked me out. But I have to write the picture off because the picture moved, the camera moved.
That's my camera.
Okay. The camera moved. And the face, and Emmy doesn't like this person, just so you know, was up here and it was staring down. And it usually hangs out up in this corner. And I'm like, wow, that's really freaky. And so we kind of wrote the picture off. We said, no, it can't be what it is. And then I said, okay, well, I'm going to keep taking pictures. So I take a lot of pictures. And this camera actually has video capability, and that's why it's on right now. So I was standing outside, and I had a camera on a tripod, and I was facing that corner on the outside, and I took a picture, and what you should see in the picture is a brick wall. And that's not what you see in the picture. What you see in the picture is a girl's face moving out of the room. What I've discovered, or what I surmise, is that we've been in this room, and I've had a guy stand here, and he watched something run out of this room, and I saw it too. And it looked like kind of short female, about your height. So I'm pretty sure Emmy's here.
Yeah, she likes your flashlight.
I'm pretty sure she likes that flashlight.
I'm pretty positive. She didn't want anything to do with ours.
And
But I think it's anything that has to do with you, Frank.
it has a lot
Grandchildren
to do
just
with me.
placed an epic retro
First it was
barbarian on the
Brandon. Emmy
battlefield.
attached to Brandon, and then she attached to me. So, and she'll talk to Brandon, but Brandon made a mistake. Brandon called Emmy a name, and I yelled at him for it. And she hasn't been that social with him. She has, but she hasn't been that social with him. And I don't think she likes me even mentioning his name. So, yeah, she attached to me pretty quick.
Emily, are you happy that we're down here with Frank? No?
I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to say what went across my head. I'll just leave that one.
Okay.
I think she wants you here by yourself.
Yeah,
You-
she doesn't like to. She
You're not
doesn't like to
psychic.
share.
Is she not psychic at all?
She does
I
not
will-
like to share.
I'm not going to stay in this room by myself ever. Ever. I do not come in this room alone. I've been in this room alone. I was setting up a camera to watch this Bible on the bottom shelf. I had the camera over on the left side of me. I was setting the camera up, and I'm 40, you know. Muscles ache. I groan a little bit. I grunt a little bit, you know. And I'm sitting here and I grunt, and you can actually hear this. And I gotta put this video on the internet. And you hear me grunt, and the lights are on and everything else. There's nobody in here with me. Nancy is out in the other room. You can hear Nancy's voice. Nancy has a very distinct voice, and then you hear this whispering female voice, and it says, "That's enough of that." It's a full sentence.
Whoa.
And it's on the camera. Yeah. And I was like, there's nobody else in this room with me. And I didn't hear it. I heard it after I was listening, and I played it over and over and over again, and it gave me chills. It still does. Because it's like, I know she was talking to me. Right there. And that is one of the few times I've actually recorded her voice. Because she doesn't talk much. She just doesn't. She plays with flashlights. She plays with equipment.
She's very sad when you're not here.
Yeah. I had a little issue with her.
She feels like you're angry with her.
To a degree, yes. I don't like ghosts
Yeah.
hanging around my house. And she knows it. Because, here's a story. And last year I had some teeth pulled, and I had dental issues, and so I'm sitting here and I'm on Percocet, and I didn't feel so good, of course, and so I popped 2 of them and went to bed. And I woke up and I stared at the end of my bed, and I felt like there was something there, and I got frozen. You know that old hag syndrome? I was literally frozen to the bed, but there was something at the end of my bed. I freaked out. And then I woke up, but I didn't wake up. I was still in the dream, and I looked at the end of my bed, and I sat up, and I couldn't scream. And there was something standing at the end of my bed. And then, boom, I woke up again, and I'm like, what the hell? And I could feel something at the end of my bed, and then something grabbed my foot. And I stood up, and I went to scream. I mean, literally, here I am, an old guy, and I'm about to scream, because I live alone, there's nobody in my apartment, and there's something grabbing my foot. I mean, it wasn't like, just like a brush. No, grabbed my foot. And then I, okay, wake up. And I woke up again, and I stood up, and I said, get out. And whatever it was Emmy. And she was standing in my bed, and she went out the door. And I got up, and I checked my doors and my windows and everything else. There was nobody in there. I looked at the bottle of Percocet, and I poured them down the toilet the next day because I wasn't going to take it anymore. I don't take drugs anymore because that really freaked me out. And there is some theory with if you take any kind of a drug, it will,
Psychosis.
yeah, you will see the other side a little bit more. So,
I
Wow.
feel abandoned. I just keep getting the word abandoned in my head right now.
that's her. She's talking to you. She's telling you the
I
story.
feel so sad.
She's not a very happy person. She had a very tragic life and a very
It's
tragic
like
end.
that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Earlier
Yeah.
tonight when I was
I've
by
actually-
myself,
I've actually had
all these
one
sorts of sadness.
person come in here. It was a lady, and she had similar incidences to what happened to Emmy. And she walked out and she told me the whole story. So I don't tell the whole story about Emmy's life to anybody. And she literally walked out, told me her name, told me the whole story, told me what happened to her, told me she was buried under the floor. And I went, yep, you got it right. She got it right 100%, this lady. So I don't tell the whole story to anybody. It's all recorded on my computer at home.
I think part of her sadness is that she hasn't had a proper burial,
Yeah.
and that really makes her feel more abandoned too, because
Useless, thrown away, trash.
yeah,
You got it.
We were down here and
Bingo.
I just got chills.
I got hopelessness on my
Yeah,
EVP.
Yeah, you don't even need the electronic equipment. If you have any kind of sensitivity and you start feeling words in your head, you feel like something touched.
And unfortunately, that is. Can you guys hear me? Because it just flipped. That is where the video ends. I'm waiting to see if. Come on. It's not coming back. Come back. Okay. Yay! You can't hear me. Okay, somebody said yes. All right, so I talk about a picture in the video, and I talk about a video in the video that I took that had an EVP on it. I'm looking for that video. Can you guys hear me at all? Did we get... Do I have sound? I'm not showing sound, that's why. Can you hear me at all? Because I seem to have lost my sound. Okay, you can hear me. All right. For some reason, Stream Raiders isn't showing sound bars. Anyways, so I do not know why they're not showing. It's not showing sound bars. It does this every now and then. So, anyways, this particular video or this particular picture. All right. So good. You heard the whole video too, right? Because I lost the sound bar, but I wasn't sure. So I had a ghost girlfriend. Yeah, kind of. Not exactly the thing you want. But anyways, so this is the picture we're talking about. And I'm going to expand it a little bit, and I'm going to show you where the real face is. So you kind of see a face facing you. The face facing you is not a face. It's not there. So I had a ghost stalker, yes. But if you look, and I take the other, that what looks like an eyeball out there, and right in here, you can see a nose and an eye. And you're probably wondering, why is this picture so important? Well, you shouldn't see any of this. There should be no fogginess, no light effects, no glare. This isn't glare coming off this picture. Now you see the infrared lines coming out here because this picture was a 30-second exposure on the wall. And what you should see is just a brick wall. You should only see a brick wall. But people kept feeling the cold spot coming in and out of this place, so I took a picture, and this is the picture. I've taken a lot of pictures of this brick wall. I've never had any of them do this. I wish I had the EVP in there. If I did, it would be really cool, but unfortunately I haven't found it yet. It might be in the collection of videos that I saw. Some of the other things you probably wouldn't have noticed in the video is a lot of times the little red lights that were flashing, those were EMF detectors and thermometers. So the temperature kept going up and down, and the EMF detectors kept going off while in the video. So yes, for a long time I had a ghost stalker. And this is one of the reasons why I quit ghost hunting. So I just didn't want to deal with the ghost stalker anymore. Let's see if I can you can get to a point, let's see if I can see it, where this purple flashlight, let's see if you guys can see that. Yes, and it was. And there wasn't any wispiness, okay? There was no smoke. There was nothing. Let me turn that picture back on real quick. Oh, come on, work. There was no smoke. There was no wispiness. There's no light effects. There was no light near it. The only lights were behind the camera. So there, and we were playing with a little laser thing on there. I have a color version of this, and it's all blue and ultraviolet. I've retaken this picture before, and I can't find the copies, and I don't know where it was. Okay, and I do need to turn speech chat back on. So let's go Shift FT, turn speech chat back on, so you people can hear what other people, because I know there's people that only listen. There we go. So that was the whole, and when I found this video, it says, "Oh, look, me telling ghost stories."
Can you outline the face for us? I can't make it out.
Okay, so let me see if I can capture. It won't capture it. I have another video. Let me zoom into the center and see if I can get it that way. Because can I put Maisie on top of her? Because it's really hard to outline because this thing isn't. It's literally right here, right in the center now. So you follow the little squiggly lines. It's right above her eyes and right here, and then you see a bridge of a nose. And
now Toto see bricks.
Yeah, now Toto see bricks. So you know the wall is there, and you see the wispiness. We couldn't figure out what caused the problem that caused the camera to even do this, because it shouldn't have done this. Can I transform, fit to screen, center on screen? Nope. The only thing I can do is zoom in because I can't show a cursor. Use the mouse. Well, the mouse won't show up on the picture because of the way OBS works.
Was this film or digital?
This was digital. So, and we looked into that too. It was an 8-megapixel camera at the time. And
don't save.
Hey, don't save. Oh, well, I actually have this pointed out, but you got a point there.
Are the ghost's eyes and mouth?
The squiggles are where they are pretty close to them. So yes. They are not the ghost eyes and mouth per se. They're just there, but they're right in that area. It looks a little haunting. Do I have the other photo? I will have to find this one because I don't know where the other photo is. Not there.
I can see the nose.
Yeah. You can see the nose, and you're pretty close to it because the girl is facing to your left.
Oct2 just placed an epic vampire lord on the battlefield.
Thanks for the yeah.
It's like a side view.
It's a side view, so you're looking at her basically running out of the room. Anybody who felt her running out of the room. That's why I say if you see a face facing at you, this is
Castellamia, the battle is ready to begin. 64 units were placed on the battlefield.
this is actually, we think, the back of her hair, right in this area. So, and what you see for bricks over here is the archway that goes into that room. So you have the back of her hair here, and you have the front of her face where these other squiggly lines were. And I don't know how they managed to be right there, but the fact is that there shouldn't be anything on this picture. None of this should be here. None of the light effects should be there. It should just be a brick wall. There was nobody in front. Nobody walked by. I made sure of it. I actually stopped somebody who almost walked in front of my camera. Okay? So when I was taking the picture, I said, wait. And then they went through. So, and the bricks you see on the right are the entrance to the room. So, and that's an archway going in there. And I had other pictures of this
funny,
archway.
I saw a face looking straight at me.
The face looking straight at you isn't her face. Actually, what you're seeing is the side of her face. Don't know why it turns out like that, but a lot of the pictures turn out like that. So I'm going to show you the other face. And just because.
Now I see the one facing to the left.
Now you saw the one facing. Should I turn it back on? Now you see the. Yeah, if you look at the face facing at you, then you can see the one facing to the left on just the left-hand side. That's Emily or Emmy. Her real name is probably closer to Amelia. And she wasn't blonde. She wasn't really blonde. She just perceived herself to me as being blonde. So, but onto the other image. I'm going to explain the other image and why I basically threw the other image out. So you see this giant face in the corner. This is actually the right corner of the room. And this face appeared in there. And I kind of threw it out. I was like, I don't get what this picture is, because this shouldn't be here. Now, this purple area here denotes the fact that the camera slipped because there's a guy standing here. Yeah, bald man. The guy standing there is named Rick. I know who he is. He was down there with me. So, Rick is standing there. I got a bunch of lens flare here from his device that he moved because he walked down there. And I wasn't supposed to take, I was just supposed to take a flash photo, and then this happened. And I was like, okay, that's really weird. And all the blue is ultraviolet light, and then we have some infrared light. And this is obviously a lens flare in the middle of the screen. That's pretty clear. These are LED reflections here and here from his EMF meter, and that's a light on top of his head. We just don't know why there's purple in the upper right-hand corner and why there's a face in it. And if I can get there, you can see, obviously, there's a face in it, staring at Rick. And we associate the face with the bad man. But you also go into and you say, well, you know, the face could be, because I debunk things, and I mentioned that in the video. It could just be your eyes playing a trick on you. I agree. So, I don't know. But there are, like I showed you yesterday, there are a lot of pictures that come out of this building where people's faces end up in the picture. It doesn't happen that much. It's not common for people to see faces like that in pictures. It just is not that common. So one more thing. We were talking about, and you saw this flashlight go on and off. Nobody's holding the flashlight. So when the flashlight flickered, and I'm going to let it flicker here.
To a degree.
And you'll hear us react.
I don't like ghosts
Yeah.
hanging around my house. And she knows it because
you'll hear me basically respond to the fact nobody's touching the flashlight. It's one of those kinds of flashlight, and I still have it somewhere, that the switch is on the bottom of the flashlight or on the back side of the flashlight, so it has a pretty hardcore switch to flick. You have to really push the switch in. The flashlight should not turn on and off. We tested these flashlights beforehand, and in this building, flashlights would do this all the time if you were talking about somebody else in this building. Also, one last thing about this room that I'm sitting in with these other people, like 4 or 5 of them. We're sitting on the floor of this, or actually some of us are standing too. And we're standing in this room, and we already know, because the Colorado Bureau of Investigations has said from their psychics Colorado State hires psychics to look for people. Their own psychics said there are possibly bodies under our floor. So we were standing in a room that we know that there might be bodies under the floor. The city of that this is in, it's Cripple Creek, Colorado. The city that it's in will not let anybody dig up the floor. They went so far that somebody there said, we had a sonogram. We had a device that you can send sound waves into the floor and you can take a picture of what's underground. We had one offered to us by the mine, the gold mine. They said they were going to give it to us to use, and we just had to give it back. And so we could check down in the floor to see if there was anything buried there.
Ground penetrating radar.
There we go. Wayne Jockey got it right. My brain doesn't work. But we had we had a little portable ground penetrating radar device at our disposal. The city flat refused to let us bring it in the building.
Ground penetrating sonar.
Yes, sonar is more it. They say it's basically a giant ultrasonic machine, but not that big. I mean, it didn't have to be. They used it to look for, things in the ground, and they were going to loan us one. And the city said, no, you can't. Somebody in the city said, nope, they can't bring it in there. Flat rejected us. In fact, there's spooky other stuff going around in this city over this issue with this room and the things that have been said about it. There is a lady who has stolen some of
The ones I have seen are the size of a push mower.
Yeah, it was about that big.
Now you know who killed the girl.
Yes, no, he's about to get it. Well, maybe not the lady who stole the books. She stole the county records that pertain to an era that we think may have included a serial killer in this town, and it would have been quite possible. And people of ill repute would have disappeared, or people of minority status, and nobody would have given a crap. Okay? It was the 1880s. Nobody would have cared. There were 50,000 people here, and if you were poor and destitute, nobody cared about you. So if you disappeared, nobody cared about you. And bad things we know happened in this building. There are a lot more ghost stories that are going to come out of this building in the future. So, and we kind of figured there were at least 4 people buried under that stairs, and it was confirmed by other psychics. And other people walked in there, said that, who had never been there before, that I never told these stories to. And I had all the information and notes written down and cataloged, and they'd come in and they'd tell me the whole story, and I'd just be checking it off, and I go, you got it right. And they just look at me like, what? You've never been here before? And they would tell the same story over and over again. And it was kind of creepy after a while. Because it'd be like listening to people going, okay, I'm tired of hearing a story of Emmy and her 3 friends that are dead under the floor. But they won't let us dig up the floor. In fact, the city went so far as they put wooden floor down. It was dirt. We could have easily just dig the floor up, but they were like, nope, we don't want you to dig the floor up. We don't want anybody digging in there. Somebody was hiding something, but it's the small town mentality. People who had families living there 100, 150 years, yeah, they don't want you digging stuff up under the floor. They don't want what could be their relatives' bad things and bad acting coming to the source. Also, by the way, you saw a lot of red flashing lights in the video, just little ones, and then of course you saw some flash. And you wouldn't be able to pick me out because I'm standing behind this camera. There are some other people, if you're really traced it, you get their faces out of the video, but I don't know who they are anymore because this was in 2012. But you saw the little red lights. Those are EMF meters, and they were sitting in there, and they were going off. The little flashing red lights was the EMF meter going off. There's no electricity in that room. There's no electrical wires. There's no wiring. There's nothing. There's never has been. There is in the ceiling, in the roof, and those were down on the bottom shelf. So I hope to find the EVP that I talked about in the video about the Bible. I really hope to find that.
I keep rubbing my screen where you see dots.
Yes. And let me see if I can go back to some of those dots. Because you see the flashlight, and I can actually, this is why I used QuickTime. But you can see the flashlight blinking on and off. Okay, let's go back to the dots. And one person has a laser pointer. That's the little red dot in the middle. And the other dot up on the top is the EMF meter. Now, my camera doesn't focus very well. And this other person's holding an EMF meter on the right. That's why you see a dot over there on the right-hand side. I purposely made Maisie have a thing. But you'll see that flash as that little meter goes off. And people reacted and people talked about feeling. We tell people to talk about the things they feel if they feel cold spots or anything else like that. And the whole time we're talking, she's literally, the EMF meter kept going off. And that was the furthest it could be from any electrical lines, and there was no power running through anything in there except for our flashlights and our audio equipment. But you can see the EMF meter constantly going off, talking to it. So, and it just throughout the whole video. It's something I should have mentioned at first. And by the way, you can kind of get a decent look of the room. And I'm going to try to stop here. These are shelves in the back of the room. So there is some reflective stuff in here. These are containers and stuff. You only get this in the very beginning. And I don't know if I can get the wall. Kind of. It's a little bit to the left. So, but you see me because I walk into the room with the camera on me. I'm holding it. So, and it's not a very big room at all. It's rather small. I have other video that will show the room better in the future. So, but I hope you like my spooky little story. I thought I would share one with actually what happens on a ghost hunt when we're talking to ghosts and stuff. Unlike the TV shows, it's not quite the same.